Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. So basically, this session is about the Capstone Project 1. Okay. So once you finish your 26 online exams, you would come to the next stage of nurturing, and that next stage is called as Capstone Projects. So we have 3 projects that we give you guys. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Capstone 1 talks about the waterfall methodology. Capstone 2 speaks about agile, and Capstone 3 are those concepts that does not fit in the waterfall and under agile. Okay, so the Capstone 1 and 2 has case studies in it, and there are certain questions that are associated with those case studies. Okay, so you need to answer those questions and you need to take them forward. So that is how the Capstone project runs. Okay, so I'm sure all of you are aware of what is Capstone Project 1 case study. This is basically a e-commerce website that we need to build. Now, the main agenda of this session is not to give you the answer for that case study, guys. Eventually, you are the one who has to answer the questions. Okay, however, we have taken a very similar scenario to the Capstone Project 1, and I would explain you with this scenario, which would be very, very, very similar to what you see there in your original Capstone Project 1, right? As we all know that the original Capstone case study is an online agriculture store, wherein this store would sell the agricultural products, right? However, this case study is a pure e-commerce website where we would not sell the pesticides. However, we would sell the apparel and the accessories. Okay, guys. So let's look at the case study. So, guys, basically, we have a person named Mr. Anthony, okay, who is a prosperous NRI, a non-resident Indian. Basically, he wants to develop a website. With this website, as I mentioned earlier, is devoted to fashion industry, guys. Basically, this website you can sell and buy high-end apparel and accessories. What is apparel? Clothes, and the accessories like belts, shoes, and all that. Okay. What is high-end? This branded clothes and accessories is what this website is devoted to. So now he wants to collaborate to work on this application with Mr. Bhaskar, Miss Kathy, and Mr. Dominic. Okay. The main motto of this application is it should be user-friendly, wherein it is very easy to navigate. It should have a contemporary look. What does that mean? It should have a very high level look, because we are selling this branded clothes. It should have a very attractive way to represent your products to the customer. And we also would want to process the payments quickly, because it would be international payments that we handle here, guys. Okay. Now, when Mr. Anthony started looking at the design and everything, he noticed that Miss Kathy also has a very similar application. However, she never spoke about it, because her sales were drastically declining and she was little not doing well. So she never wanted to discuss about it. But however, Anthony felt, instead of creating a new application, why can't we take this application what Miss Kathy has and improve that? So basically, what is this, guys? We are trying to sell and buy high-end apparel and accessories. Okay, so the timeline of this project is 18 months, and the budget of this project is 1 crore rupees. It is in INR 1 crore. Okay, so as I earlier mentioned, guys, the current problems that are being faced by Miss Kathy is that why are the sales declining? In simple words, because people does not know the knowledge of fashion, because they don't know what is fashion. They're not purchasing the products, right? And they're not even able to connect. Like, for example, let's assume I want to purchase a branded dress from London, right? By the time it reaches me, I'm not able to really get the hold of the dress in that specific time. The lack of customer reach is one of the issue. Okay. right? So looking at the current problems, Mr. Anthony has a team. So basically what he felt, okay, now I know the scenario, now I know what I want, and I know what is the end product. So Mr. Anthony has pulled in a team. Yes, pulled in a team. Okay, now here the team is, just a second. Okay, I think now it's better. Okay, so guys, basically the team has this. We have Mr. Anthony has a company, guys, called as Novacord. Okay, and this is the team. Mr. Philip is a project head. Mr. Walter White is a committee member. Miss Ruby is another committee member, and Miss Serena is another committee member. Now, for certain activities, Mr. Anthony has outsourced this project to another company called Adino. Basically, this is an offshore team. Now, here also we have another team members, guys. Mr. John is a delivery head. Miss Anna is a project manager because it is waterfall project. Mr. Chase is senior Java developer, and he has a small team of Miss Nora, Miss Shushank, and Miss Vivian. Okay. Then we have Mr. Mike, who's a network admin. We have Mr. John, who's a database admin. Mr. Jason and Miss Neff are testers, and you are the business analyst. Okay, so this is the case study that we have. Again, I'm reminding guys, this is a very similar case study of your Capstone Project 1. Okay, once you understand this, probably it would be very easy for you to work on the case study there. No, guys, whenever you have such a lengthy case study, whenever you have such a case study with a lot of information in it, okay, as a person looking at it or as a business analyst, it's very important for us to decode that case study. Now, what is a decoding? There would be a lot of information that would not be useful for us right now, right? So whatever information I need to take my steps forward is called as decoding the case study. Okay, which I have done, guys. So basically, I have decoded the case study. Now, first and foremost, guys, please understand every project has an idea or what is the motto behind the project. If you look at this first one, we have a project idea. What is an idea? To develop a website devoted to fashion with a focus on high-end apparel and accessories. And now I want to develop a website. Okay. Now, what are the current needs? I want it to easy to navigate. I have need a contemporary look at. I want to have a payment process faster. Now, what is an overview of the project? It is an e-commerce based project wherein we already have an existing application and we want to take the inputs from the existing application and make a better one. Okay. Now, what are the current problems, guys? Sales are declining. It is not at all user friendly, and we're unable to handle the competition. And we should also know the team. So it's very important to understand who are the resources working with your team. Okay. This decoding the case study will help you to answer a lot of questions going forward. Guys, please understand the main motto of this session or this Zoom meeting is not just to answer your case study, what is given. However, we would also want you to understand how a waterfall project works in real time. How in a real time the waterfall model works, and how it is very important to understand the project from a BA perspective. Okay, guys, so that is what we are doing here. And going forward, taking it forward, coming to the questions, there would be a lot of areas which were little new to you, but take it more like a learning experience and try to understand that we're not just trying to answer or clear the prep one, but for a bigger purpose, guys. Okay, now, so let's come to the questions. The first question here is your prepare the business process model. So please understand what is a business process model. Basically, every organization has a motto. Every organization have a mission and a vision, right? So in order to understand or in order to achieve your organization goal, every organization should follow a certain process. They have to have the process. They cannot deviate from the process. If you deviate, your goal is damaged. Right? So basically, organizations prepare these business process models where they have multiple process flow diagrams, activity diagrams, lot of flow charts and everything. So just to make sure everybody are aligned to your organizational goal. So in order to understand the business process flow, we must first understand what are these pointers that we need to remember no matter which model you're creating this. Okay, to understand that, first let's understand what is the goal of this case study. Now, whenever you're answering the Capstone Prep 1, guys, please understand most of your answers or all of your answers has to be customized to the case study. You cannot give generic answers. Okay, so having said that, here the goal of this project is to bridge the gap between the buyers and sellers. As I've earlier mentioned, that we are unable to reach the customers, we are unable to understand the customer's need, right? So this is our goal, to bridge the gap between the buyers and the sellers. Now, to do this, what are the inputs that we need? We need the customer data, of course, right? We need to create marketing campaigns, right? We need to have trained employees, because once the people come to us, we should be able to retain them, right? Now, what are the resources for this, guys? We need warehouses, we need the software, we need the office space, and so on and so forth. Now, what are the outputs? Sales revenue must be there. Efficiency is important.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt in between.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, for the case study, do we have to answer in the one line, or like we have to elaborate?
You have to depend on the question mark. Again, sorry again, please hold your questions. Definitely answer them at the end of the call. Okay. Okay. Now, again, coming back here, guys, what activities do we have to handle? Excellent customer service, partner with leading brands, and what is the value that we are gaining? Wide range and customer satisfaction. Okay, so please understand, whenever you're preparing this question, make sure you also understand the goal of the project, goal of the case study, and then accordingly prepare these elements. Okay, just do not have very generic pointers here, guys, because that would not help you to prepare a business case model. Now, as somebody asked me, should I have an elaborative answer or one sentence? That all depends on the score given to the question, guys. I'm sure you all have the paper, right? If a question is 5 marked, so you all know what kind of information must you put in order to get that score, right? So depending on the score given to every question, you should elaborate if required, or else not elaborative. And please understand, guys, if you really put your effort in these Capstone 1, trust me, when you take it forward to your life projects and to your resume preparation, you will have no issue answering these questions. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question. Now, the second question says, please do the SWOT analysis on the project. Okay, now, as I again told you, I have done a SWOT analysis on the project that I have spoken about. Now, what is the strength of this website? It has strong brand recognition. It is a very reputed one in the online fashion industry. Okay, now what is the weakness? Because Miss Kathy already has a website, just that her sales are declining, but she does have a name or a reputation in the market, right? Now, what are the weakness here? Dependency on the external vendors, supply chain disruptions, and inventory management issues. Okay, right? Opportunities, expansion into new product categories and expansion into the markets. And what are the threats? Economic downturns and changes in the customer spending habit. Now, because whenever you're answering or doing a SWOT analysis, always have this box kind of a picture, have this plus, and this is how a SWOT analysis must be done. Again, whenever you're doing a SWOT analysis, please do the SWOT analysis on the project. Now, whatever project that you're doing, what are the strengths of it? What are the weaknesses of it? What are the opportunities you can get? And what are the threats that you can have, guys? So this is what you will have to. So please understand that SWOT must be done on the project. So now you need to analyze what could be the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So this is how you will do this SWOT analysis for the project. Okay. Now, this is a very important question, guys. Now, basically, what do you mean by feasibility study? Now, I'll tell you. Whenever a project has come to us, let's assume I'm an offshore company, I have received a project. Okay. Whenever you have received a project and you want to understand if this project is really feasible to us or not. Okay. If this project is really feasible to us or not. What do you mean by feasible? Can we achieve it? Can we do it? Are we capable enough to take care of handle this project? These are the answers that you need to understand whenever you do a feasibility study. Now, most of us know that feasibility study is generally done during change requests. I kind of won't agree with it. The reason being, feasibility study is done whenever you want to understand why or can we do this project and so on and so forth. Now, whenever we are doing a feasibility study, guys, please understand you need to know that technologically are we feasible? Through hardware are we feasible? Software, resources, budget, and time frame. Whenever you're doing this feasibility study, you should always connect back to your case study. Okay, guys. Now, see, because this is a e-commerce related application, first check. Okay, what is a technological thing? Let me show you one thing that I have created here. Okay, so look at this, guys. See what I have done. I have done a feasibility study here. Can you all see the screen? Can you all see the screen, guys? Yes, just type yes, yes. Okay, done. Now see this. Here, if you look at it, whenever I'm doing the feasibility study, guys, first I understand that the amount that is assigned to the project is 1 crore. Okay, it is 1 crore. Let's assume my cost I have estimated is 80 lakhs. So basically, I have 20 lakhs of reserve money. Tomorrow something happens, I can use the 20 lakhs. For now, the estimated cost for this project is 80 lakhs. Now, first and foremost, I will see, okay, what technology must I use? So I told you, right, we would have database servers, we would have payment gateways, right? So let's see. Web server, I want to take Apache or this thing. Database server, MySQL, programming language, PHP, Python, Ruby, content management system, WordPress, Drupal, and Magento. So basically, what does an organization do? Guys, here I'm telling you real-time scenarios, okay? I'm not just telling you for the project's sake, but I'm telling you in real organizations, whenever people do feasibility study, the top management, the project manager, and all these people sit and discuss, okay, I have 1 crore. Now, can we submit or can we deliver the project to the client in this budget amount, in this 1 crore? Okay, so they'll sit and estimate the cost. They'll sit and estimate the cost. Okay, for technology, I need, let's assume, I will say 10 lakhs. Okay, I will say 10 lakhs. Why 10 lakhs? I gave you the breakdown. Probably Apache needs this much amount. When I purchase the softwares, I might need this much amount. Total is 10 lakhs for this technology. Okay. Now talking about the hardware, I see that again, we have the multiple hardware like web servers, database servers, load balancers, storage devices, and stuff like that. Again, I feel that it would cost again around total cost I have estimated today, let's assume 5 lakhs. Okay, software. Again, for content management, because I need content to develop an application, I need WordPress. Let's assume. For e-commerce, I need Shopify or Magento. Probably I need an e-commerce platform to put my things. I need PayPal. I can take this, or probably I will also add your phone pay. Right, I will add GPay and stuff like that. I need this payment gateways, and also we need security applications. Let's assume the total cost, guys. I'm just putting I'm just assuming. Okay, it's not the right amount. Let's assume I put 15 lakhs. Okay, how much did we spend so far? 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 35 lakhs. You all agree? Then what will I do? I need resources. Let's assume how many resources I have. I will go back to my case study. And I will see, look at this. See, how many I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have around 14 size of the team, right? I have 14 people. Let's assume I have to calculate, for example, project manager. I have to pay him 1 lakh per month. Okay. Again, I need a business analyst. Let's assume we pay 75,000 per month. Okay. Let's assume I need a project or need a Java developer. Okay. Again, we have a senior Java developer and a Java developer, right? So probably let's assume the Java development team. Okay. I will not a Java development team. I will take around. Let's assume 2 lakhs because we have 4 people in it, right? Like that, we will calculate, guys. And now how much is the project? 18 months. So I will calculate. See, 1 lakh into 18 months is 18 lakhs. 75,000 into 18 months is around how much? 15 lakhs. Like that, we have to calculate. So basically for resources, let's assume I will spend around 30 lakhs. Total resources. So guys, please, what I'm trying to do here is, this is how the feasibility study is calculated at the beginning of the project. And whenever a change requests come, what happens? Again, we need to, then we need to say, okay, the reserve 20 lakhs, is it enough to accept the change request? Or should I add more to the budget? Should we go and talk to the client and add more money to it? So this is how in real time feasibility study calculations happen, guys. Clear so far? Okay, so again, whenever you're creating a feasibility study in your real-time application, in your Capstone, please calculate like this. Just do not give randomly technology all that. What is feasibility study? When you have said that, madam, it will take 15 lakhs for technology, why? On what basis are you calculating this 15 lakhs? So this breakdown is very essential. Probably you might not write this in your answer, but you should at least justify that to a mentor when you are taking this evaluation. Clear this? Now, we will talk about the gap analysis. Fourth question. So what is gap analysis here? It is nothing but the comparison of the current state with your desired state, right? See, in this scenario, I said currently, what is it? It is an online fashion and platform which does have wide range of products. Yes, we do have dependency on the external vendors for supply and limited control of the product quality. And we have high operating expenses due to investments, right? What is a desired state? I want the control. I want to lessen the expenditure. I want to have a continuous investment into technologies. I would definitely want to expand it to new products and categories. And I also want to make sure that there is profitability through cost reduction. Okay, so basically gap analysis is I'm looking at, see, basically when you're doing the gap analysis, guys, please understand, we do the gap analysis on the process. We do the gap analysis on the requirements. We do gap analysis on the current versus desired state. Where are you right now? Where do you want to go in the future? Okay, so this kind of gap analysis is very important. Yes. Whenever you're doing it in your document also, you can have multiple gap analysis. I told you, you can have process related gap analysis. You can have your system related gap analysis. What is your current system versus what is your future system? You can have your desired output versus a current output that is your happening and stuff like that. Okay, you should have the gap analysis done like that. Okay, guys, again, do not panic. It is not such elaborative. I'm just giving you the real-time experience to handle a waterfall project. Okay, tomorrow when you go to an organization, you should be very confident to do a waterfall project. Okay, guys, clear? Next, the next question, the question number 5. Now, we need to prepare risk analysis again. Please understand, whenever you're preparing risk analysis, do not write very generic risk analysis. Every project has a different risks that we have to handle as a business analyst. So here in the PPT, I had just mentioned internal risk, external risk, DA risk, and the project related risk. Okay, what is an internal risk? Internal risk is internal to an organization. where here what you're facing internally, I'm facing a lot of technical issues. There is system downtime. Okay, probably there are high operating expenditure. You can also untrained employees, right? What are external changes in the government regulations? Extreme competition, right? Policies would change, right? Those all could be the external risk. Now, what are the BA risk, guys? Basically, what are business, as a business analyst, what kind of risks will you have to face with this project? First and foremost, incomplete requirements. We assume as a BA, we all assume that we know the requirements in detail, but that is not true. We can have incomplete requirements. We assume that the team knows what they are doing. Okay, we know that domain is very big deal. E-commerce, I shop every day. I can handle the e-commerce domain, but that's not true. Probably there could be so many ifs and buts inside that we do not know. So it's a very new domain to all of us. Will take time, but you can definitely estimate the risk. Then change in requirements. Guys, this is one of the biggest risks the BA has to face. Requirements, change requests in the requirements. It looks very easy though, but understand. Actually, I just spoke about 5 questions. Don't you agree when you do this risk analysis and handle the changes, it is very difficult for us to really look into it, guys, right? Okay. Then we have project-based risk also. Basically, we have scope risk and stakeholder risk. What does that mean? In the project, we have in scope, out scope. Is the budget in the scope, or the budget or the project out of the scope? Can we handle the stakeholders? Or do we have any stakeholders who are irrelevant to us? So all those areas must be handled. So basically, when you do the risk analysis, make sure you look at the project related risks as well, guys. Okay, make sure you understand the risks the project will have going forward. Clear, guys? Okay. Now, guys, I'm sorry I'm not able to answer your questions. Please note them down and remember them. We'll definitely look into it once the recording has been completed. Okay. Kirti, please let me finish the session, Kirti, then I'll answer your questions. I know you're raising your hand, but let me finish the session. Okay. Okay. Done. Now, the next one. So guys, basically the next question here is RACI matrix. Now, this is a very interesting question, guys. So guys, please understand, we all know that RACI stands for RACI, responsible, accountable, consultant, and informed. Okay, now please look at the screen very carefully. So guys, whenever you're doing a RACI matrix, we are doing the stakeholder analysis now. Whenever we're talking about the phases or the project, we are just telling that who will fit where, who is responsible for the project, who is accountable for the project, who is consulted, and who is informed in a project now. Now, we all know that waterfall project is a lengthier project. It's a long project, right? And we do not submit the project like agile in phases. We do it once at a end one. But in reality, what happens, guys? Even in waterfall project, let's assume it is 2 years project. Let's assume. Okay? Generally, what happens in the organization? They will not have one resource or a bunch of resource for the whole 2 years of project. What they do is they break the project into 6 months or 8 months or however it is. Let's assume in this scenario, we'll take 6 months break. We will take a 6 months of small internal breakdown. Okay? So in order to understand the RACI matrix carefully, organizations, what they do is they create the RACI matrix for this first 6 months. They work on this first 6 months on whatever features you want or whatever functionalities you have decided. Once these first 6 months are finished, right, what they do, again, they create one more RACI matrix and again they do. In real organizations, guys, please understand that RACI can be done on very important functionalities. RACI can be done on modules. RACI can be done on months. RACI can be done on project. So what I'm trying to tell you is that We don't have to confine ourselves saying that RACI is only for once done and will not touch it. No, that will not happen. Depending on the requirements, depending on the importance of the features or modules, size of the feature and the module, we can create multiple RACIs as we do it. But we cannot have parallelly 2 or 4 RACIs, guys. We don't do that. Because when you're saying that Sangeeta is responsible for one, she cannot be responsible for multiple other features, right? I can't do things parallelly. That is what is the main motto here. Now, if you look at my template that I have created, see, I have taken for place your payment. I've taken one process called as payment process, guys. Okay. I have said responsible. Now, in reality, how does this happen? Here I said Mr. Ismail, he is a manager operations. Okay. I have given his details. What is his email ID? What is his phone number? And when can you reach him? 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. IST or whatever time zone he is, you can reach him at that time only. If you call him after 1 p.m., he will not answer. Okay. I have Miss Bhargav or Mr. Bhargav. He's a technical SME. I have Miss Catherine, software developer. Again, for accountable, I have few people and their contact details. Like that, I have created RACI for one process because I feel it's a very big process and it needs specific team to do this process successfully. Because this is one of the main issue I'm facing, right? Faster payments, right? So I have created RACI for this one big process. So I'm again repeating, in reality also, you can have RACI for multiple processes or multiple modules on features also. In your document also, you can create a RACI like this only, guys. You can create a RACI like this only. Okay, clear so far? Okay, good. Now let's go to the next question. Now, we will prepare a business case document. Guys, what is a business case document? Now, whenever you have a project that has been initiated, now, we need to first give a very strong understanding about what is this project about. See, I know, you know, because we are the core team, we are very much strong about this data. But do you think the vice president would know? Or do you think that the CFO or CEO would know about this project? The answer is no, right? So we will prepare a business case document and we will showcase it to the higher management. We will tell them, sir, this is the project and this is the details about the project. Now, having said that, we don't prepare a business case document which is very generic in nature, guys. We will prepare a business case document which is very specific to your project again. Now, here we need to answer these questions like, why is this project initiated? What my answer should be here, guys? My answer has to be, this project is initiated because that we have a gap between the current state and the future state, and currently the company is having these ABC problems. And in order to look into those problems, we are working on this project. So what is the main motto behind this project is your first answer. What are your current problems? It is given in the case study. How many problems can be solved? That also is shown here. How do we know? By the gap analysis. Right, guys? By understanding the gap analysis, you will know what is a current state and what is a desired state. If the problems in your current state matches the problems with the desired state, your question is answered. What resources are required? We have the number 14 or 15 people. How much of organizational change here? We should put some percentage here stating that this percentage of organizational change is required. Like, for example, let's assume my company is handling Agile. Suddenly you gave me this huge waterfall project and you asked me to work on this waterfall. Now, definitely organization has to change. Organization should change in this sense. Organizational policies must change. Organizational mindset must change. Organizational goal has to change. The way they're working must change, right? And so what percentage of organization change is required? If you do not want to write the percentage, you can also say which areas are changed, right? Now, what are time frame to recover? Probably 18 months project, right? Time frame is 1 year. After a year or so, you will recover your investments. How to identify the stakeholders? As we all said, we will prepare a detailed RACI matrix based on, as I mentioned earlier, functionalities, processes, phases, your time, and all that, you will identify the stakeholders and you will use the multiple techniques. So please understand, whenever you're answering this question, always customize it to your case study, guys. Do not give a very generic answer stating that it is very, this is the answer. No, every case study is different, guys. Okay, you need to customize the answer. So this is how we prepare the business case document. Now, and this is a very theoretic question, guys. Write about SDLC methodologies. We all know that we have 4 SDLC methodologies: sequential, iterative, evolutionary, and agile. So we will write a little bit about these methodologies. Again, as I mentioned, depending on the score given to this question, please write a small paragraph about the different SDLC methodologies that are there. Okay, the popular ones, and among the SDLC methodologies, we have certain models: waterfall model, V model, spiral model, Scrum, and RUP. Again, we will write a little bit about all of these models, and exclusively we will concentrate on waterfall, right? A little elaborative information about the waterfall project. So this is, again, there is no customization here, guys. It's a very generic and a theoretic answer. So don't have to worry. Just write down on about the SDLC methodologies and SDLC models. Okay, I will not spend a lot of time on this question because it's a very simple one. Now, write 4 differences between waterfall and V model. So guys, here I have mentioned this. Waterfall is very cost effective. It is very low cost, wherein V model is expensive, because here in V model, we need to design the structure wherein we have development and testing going parallelly. So we need a lot of resources here, which is why this is a very expensive model to use. Testing activities start at the later stages. I'm sure we all know that. With V model, they start in the first stage only, right? We do this testing parallelly with the development. And they move in a linear, one after the other linear way. And V model does not move in a linear way because they move in a V shape. And here in waterfall, we have very less customer involvement because customer is not involved till the last stage of the project. However, in V model, definitely customers are involved, because in this scenario, we have customers doing the testing. Like, for example, if you remember in V model, we have the requirements gathering with the UAT testing, that customers are involved here. So we do have customers more involved in the V model. Now, the 11th question says, please give 2 reasons to justify your choice. Now, why is waterfall model best suited to this project? Because, guys, we are doing a waterfall case study. So waterfall is preferred. As we all know, it is an 18 months project only. And it is, this waterfall is best suited because for small project, we can definitely give the solution in a small, easy way. And we all know that every process is reviewed very well, which is why waterfall is suited here. That's it. Okay, and if you have more better reasons to give, definitely add them, guys. I just gave 2 reasons only for example's sake. If you have more reasons, I would strongly recommend you to give more reasons here. Okay. Now, okay, now this is another interesting question that I have written, guys. Gantt chart. I'm sure we as mentors team come across this question a lot of time, literally every day, on what is a Gantt chart, how to prepare a Gantt chart. So guys, basically understand this. Gantt chart is like a progress report of your project. Okay, Gantt chart is prepared by a project manager, and Gantt chart is nothing but a work breakdown structure. It is also called as WBS. Basically, what is a work breakdown structure? Whatever work that you're presenting as a part of your waterfall project, you're breaking it down across the weeks in your project. Okay, so please note that Gantt chart is a breakdown of your work, in simple words, a progress report of your project. Okay, so in real time, we can have 2 different types of Gantt charts. Okay, the first Gantt chart is via phase wise. So look at this, guys. What did I do here is 18 months project, it says 78 weeks. So basically, what did I do? I have divided the months into weeks. Week 1, next is week 10, 20, 29, 38, 46, 55, 65, 73, and 78. So we have 78 weeks in this project. Okay. Now I've said that requirements gathering, RG, requirement gathering, started at week 1 till week 11 or something. Again, requirement analysis, because it is waterfall, we cannot start the next phase in the middle of the first phase, right? It has to close. Requirement analysis till 29th week or something, right? Again, design, coding, and testing. So we have this. I have prepared one Gantt chart by phase wise, guys. Okay. So we are saying that the project manager is saying that requirement gathering will take these many weeks. Requirement analysis will take these many weeks. Design will take these many weeks, and so on and so forth. The second type of a Gantt chart that we can prepare is a resources-based Gantt chart. Now, just for our example sake, I have taken certain resources here, guys. Okay, see. Project manager, I'm sure we all know that he would start from week 1 to week 78, right? Now, business analyst will also start from week 1 to week 78. Java developer will start at your almost on 19th week till 73rd week. Okay. Operations and support, who are the HR, finance, these people will again start here and they will go to the 78th week because we need their support till the project end. Right. Testers will not start, right, because it is waterfall. They will start somewhere around 40th or 45th week until the last of the testing. And network engineer, again, somebody who handles a database at DBA and who is into this hardware and all that. Again, we need him from the week 1 to week 78, guys. Okay, now what are these numbers? We need 1 project manager. We need 3 business analysts. We need 4 Java developers. We need 1 operation support head. We need 3 testers and we need 1 network engineer. So these are the Gantt chart that we prepare. Now, when you are submitting your work, my recommendation is have these 2 variations of the Gantt chart as a part of the answer. If you do not want to, you can pick any one and put it in your answer. Because make sure you're able to justify your Gantt chart to the concerned mentor during evaluation. Okay, I hope this Gantt chart is very clear to all of you. So I have given 2 different variations of the Gantt chart. My recommendation is have these 2 as a part of the answer, or else you should be taking 1. Okay, guys? Now, write about fixed bid versus billing project. This is again a theoretical answer, guys. Okay, fixed bid project is one in which service providers agrees to deliver a specific scope for a fixed price, right? A billing project is where you will bill for the actual work that you have done as a part of the project. Again, it is not a specific or customized answer, guys. This is a very generic answer. You can definitely have 2 paragraphs about what is a fixed bid versus what is a billing project. Okay, guys. Now let's talk about the timesheets. Another one of the very challenging question for most of you is the timesheet. So guys, basically this question says, write 7 timesheets for requirement gathering, requirement analysis, design, development, testing, UAT, and deployment phases. Now, what is a timesheet first? Basically, timesheet is a breakdown of your everyday work. Let's assume Monday, I am working on this requirements gathering phase. This will go for the next 10 weeks. So every Monday to Friday, what is a timesheet I have to fill? A requirement gathering timesheet only. So in the question, what we are asking you is, give me 1 requirement gathering timesheet, 1 requirement analysis timesheet, 1 design timesheet, 1 development timesheet, and so on and so forth. Now, the main agenda or the main purpose of this question is we would want to see if you identify the tasks that a BA would do as a part of that phase. Okay, because requirement gathering phase tasks are very different from requirement analysis phase tasks, right? So you as a business analyst must know what are those tasks that you will do. Now, a very interesting point that I have mentioned here is, guys, we all know that a timesheet should have a serial number, tasks that a BA should do, the start time, end time, and the duration. Now, another interesting point I have added here is actionable items. I'll tell you what it is. Because basically, I said in requirements gathering stage, we say we will identify the stakeholders. Now, when you're saying identify the stakeholders, is it one day's job? The answer is no. It is not. We cannot identify stakeholder in one day, right? But on that exactly on Monday, what exactly I have done? I had a meeting with my team to list down the stakeholders. When I'm saying identify the stakeholders, exactly on that day, I only had a meeting. What was that meeting? To list down the stakeholders. What was the duration of the meeting? I started at 10 a.m. and I finished at 11 a.m. 1.5 hours. 1 hour is what I took. Okay. Then second one I said is client interaction. Now, when I meant client interaction, it is again not one day job. It is the whole of the project you'll interact with the client, right? Now, what did I do? I had a Zoom call wherein I had to update the client on the morning's meeting I had, right? That meeting I had on stakeholders, right? I wanted to just give him an update on that meeting. So I had a minutes on the meeting, Zoom call to update. That took 2 hours for me. Okay. Then I wanted to fine tune the BRD document inputs. Now I have the stakeholders, I have meeting with them. Now I want to talk about the BRD document. Then I had called an SME where I had an in-person talk with him or her. I want probably I have called another fellow BA, wherein we had a discussion how to do this BRD, what do we require, how do we go about it. I had a discussion with SME face to face. Again, I took 1 hour for that. Now I was also sorting the requirements. What was sorting? I have a template for requirement sorting. I was working on the template. I want to update the template. I want to add more information, remove some information. I was working on it. That took for me 1 hour again. Then finally, I had my core team meeting. Okay, what all I have done from the morning, I want to discuss with my team. Okay, we are going in the right direction or the wrong direction. Again, it took 2.5 hours. So I said 7.5 hours timesheet. So basically, it's recommended to minimum clock in is 7 to 8 hours, guys. Okay, anyways, because 1.5 hour will definitely go for other miscellaneous activities. Okay, so this is how we have to write a timesheet. I've only given you one example of a timesheet, guys, for requirement gathering phase. You can use this template like this and you can prepare the remaining 6 timesheets for your project. So hope this one is clear to all of us. Okay. Now this is another interesting question I have. Create 5 quarterly audits for this project. So guys, now what did I again do? So guys, basically what is an audit? Audit is a check on the quality of your work. Okay. When you want to check on the quality of the work, that quality check is called as an audit. Please understand, we're only checking on the process. We are checking on the process. We are checking on the documents. We are making sure that the project is going in a very smooth manner. So this question is asking us to create 5 quarterly audits reports. Okay. So here, if you notice, we have around 78 weeks, 18 months. So we have approximately 5 we would have 6 audit reports, but out of 6 audit reports, we'll choose only 5. Okay. So what did I do again? I have taken one audit report for requirement gathering phase. I said 15 weeks. Guys, how do you think I got this data 15 weeks? From the Gantt chart. You remember I have created a Gantt chart, right? From there, I got this data. Okay, I said requirement gathering phase 15 weeks. How much is completed? 10 weeks is completed, or work is completed. Okay, what is a checklist? Now I want to audit the BRD template. The elicitation results report is checked. Duplicate requirements report is checked. Grouping of functionalities, we will take a client sign off. Do we have the client sign off? Or email communication. Whom are you sending? CC to who? BCC to who? So basically, the audit report should have what stage you are working in, what is the time duration of that phase, week 1 to week 15, because 15 weeks, out of which how much is completed, what is a checklist on which audit will happen. If you notice, I have the documents, I also have the process also I'm checking. Right? Going to a requirement analysis phase again, I said 13 weeks. Now, from 15th week to 29th week, I'll check, not from first week again, no, because till 15 weeks, we are requirement gathering phase. So 16th week, it will start. Week 16 to week 29. out of which I said 7 weeks are completed. Again, what is a checklist? This is a checklist. UML diagrams, business to functional requirements, mapping, client sign-off documents, RTM document, version control audit, email communication. Then the third one is design. Again here, what is a stage? Design 10 weeks, which is from 30th week to 40th week. In which 7 weeks, 30th, 37th week. Again, I'm checking on the utilization of tools, documented evidence, stakeholder minutes of the meeting, email communication, and so on and so forth. Then we have the next audit report for development, same story, and for testing. So guys, this is how we would want you to create the audit reports. Please understand that. Okay, guys. So we'll have 5 audit reports, one for requirement gathering phase, analysis phase, design phase, development phase, and the testing phase, guys. Clear? Then we have question number 22. That is your BA approach strategy. Again, we will say which elicitation techniques you want to apply for this. How do you do the stakeholder analysis? What documents would you use here for this project? What process will you use to follow to sign off on the documents? Probably here process in the sense you would want to take an email confirmation. You want to talk about some sort of face-to-face discussion, stuff like that. Okay. How to take approvals from the client, what communication channels you want to establish and implement, how to handle the change request, how to update the process, and to take a sign off on the UAT, guys. So basically the BA approach strategy is talking about how do we look at the complete projects from the beginning to the end. So if you're able to answer these questions, I think we are good to go with understanding the waterfall project. And again, please note that here in the BA approach strategy, do not give generic answers. Please make sure you have again customized answers here, guys. Okay, now explain and illustrate the 3-tier architecture. Now this is a little technical in nature. So first and foremost, what is a 3-tier architecture? A 3-tier architecture is wherein you will have 3 layers in the database backend. Okay, so here you have an application layer, a business logic layer, and a database layer. Application layer is a front-end layer where you're talking about the desktop, tablet, your phone, and all. Business logic layer is where you take all the information from the application layer and the database layer. So here you need to explain what is your 3-tier architecture and the process here, guys. Like for example, I'll give you. Let's assume we have a customer who would want to purchase certain clothes. What will he do? He will go to the front end, he will go to the client and he will say, I want a dress or shoes. That information will go to the business logic layer. Okay, now is the shoes within our company? No, I have to get it from third party. Let's assume the person wanted Nike shoes. Okay, so what will they do? They will go, business logic layer will connect to the third party, which is Nike showroom, and then ask, okay, does Nike has this model shoes? The answer is yes or no, whatever it is. Okay, that answer will go and store in the data layer. Eventually, it will again come back to the reply to the client or to the application layer. Okay, so you need to explain this 3-tier architecture, how the data flows from the first, second, and the third tiers, and how the information is communicated. You can definitely use an example just like the way I have used it, and you can explain this 3-tier architecture to the concerned mentors. Okay, guys. So please make sure you explain this in a very detailed manner, guys. Now, again, what is an approach strategy for framing questions? And we all know that we have 5W1H framework, we have SMART technique, we have RACI, we have UML page designs, right? What you can do is, what is your approach for framing questions? Please understand, whenever you're talking about an organization, we cannot have one approach, guys. That is impossible. We cannot use only one approach to frame questions. What is framing questions? Let's assume I am a stakeholder, you are a BA. Okay. Now you want to get certain answers to you have certain questions and you want answers from you. Now, should you use 5W1H on me? Or will you use SMART technique? Will you use RACI? Will you use UML or whatever? You will use multiple techniques to get the answer. So create the question. That is called as framing questions. Okay, so basically here in this answer, you need to explain any one approach or any two approaches and justify why you have used this approach for this project. Why do you think 5W1H is the best approach for this project? Why do you think RACI or SMART is one of the good approaches for in this project to frame questions? So that is how you need to create an answer this. Okay. Now, write about the various elicitation techniques you have learned in the workshop. You can just write 1 or 2 lines about this, guys. And which elicitation techniques you will use. In my opinion, I would want to take interviews and focus groups and JAD. And why I want to take that, you can justify your opinion. Why did I choose interviews? Because I would definitely want to know why the sales have been reducing or declining. But probably by interviewing the end users or the customers, I think I will know where things are going wrong. Now, focus groups. I can definitely talk to the payment related processes people to understand why payment processes is going slow. Why are the payment not going faster? Okay, then I can also use a chat sessions where I can talk to the end users and understand why, what kind of requirement does a customer need right now. What are the customer requirements? What is the current industry requirements? That all I can get, guys. Okay. Now, business requirements. Okay. So, guys, please understand what are business requirements. Business requirements are simple but user requirements. Okay. What did I do here? I've taken a requirement ID, the category, and then I said customer should be able to search for available products in different categories. Right. So I have created certain business requirements for you to understand. Okay. You have category, you have description, you have priority and requirement ID. Now, what are the assumptions? Guys, please understand that every project should have certain assumptions. Simple. Look at this. Assumption number 1. Whenever I want to create an online application, don't you think that the user should log in? I'm assuming the user should log in using Facebook and Google. So user should have a Facebook account and a Gmail account. A user should have knowledge on fashion. Don't you agree? If the user has no knowledge, he will never log in. What's the point of creating an application? Right? And I'm also assuming that the customers have preferred the online shopping and the customers' online shopping trend is increased, which is why I am spending money to make this application very user friendly. And I'm also assuming that the designers have designs to display. I'm also assuming that the customers can pay online. I am putting online processing, but the customers does not have online accounts in PhonePe, Google Pay and stuff like that. What's the point? Right? So guys, please understand assumptions are nothing but what are you assuming before you construct this application. So basically you're assuming that this all is there because people will come to my website tomorrow. I am working on this application. That is called as an assumption, guys. Okay. Now, here you need to talk about the prioritization technique. We have multiple prioritization techniques. Just write a small paragraph about Moscow prioritization. Again, you should say what is Moscow? Why is it important? How can Moscow be a very good technique for our project? Okay. Prepare a use case diagram. So guys, basically I just given a very simple use case diagram. I gave a customer, I have a new customer and a registered customer. Okay. And these customers will view the items. They will make a purchase, they will check out. And we also, the client can also register here. So we have service authentication, identify the provider and so on and so forth, guys. So guys, please understand this is a very sample use case diagram. Please do not use the same use case diagram for your case study also. You need to customize your use case diagram for your case study. This is a e-commerce online shopping case study, guys. What I have pulled out. Now here I have a use case specification document template I have created. Let me help you with it. Okay. Guys, this is the template that I have created. So basically the specification document is book an appointment with a fashion designer. This is created by somebody with which date it is created, who is an actor, customer and a designer. Then what is a description? This use case describes how user can book an appointment with the designer. Here, what is the precondition? The user must have registered. Post condition successfully received the confirmation. This is the happy paths that I have here, guys. Then we have an alternate flow, exceptions, and the frequency, and I have assumptions. So basically, we have a template that we have created, guys. So you don't have to use this template only, but you can definitely use the one that we have in the workbook, or you can also use this template also, guys. Okay. Probably will also upload this in the portal for your help. Okay. Okay, guys. Then we have to prepare 5 activity diagrams. I have given you 5 scenarios here, guys. You can take this and you can use the same 5 scenarios and prepare 5 activity diagrams. One is add to cart, payment, delivery, cancellation, and customer profile. I have created one here, payment process activity diagram. Okay, you can use MS Vision prepare, but make sure you prepare 5 activity diagrams. One for add to cart, payment, delivery, cancellation, and customer profile. Okay, so make sure you have these activity diagrams. Now, functional requirements. Okay, this is a very important point that I wanted to note here. Because whenever you're preparing business requirements and functional requirements, and especially the functional requirements, please understand that functional requirements must be mapped to their business requirements. Functional requirements must be mapped. For example, when you're saying that user should be able to register and log in, okay, I'll just go in here. Okay, here he has to register and log in. A new user can create a new account, right? So basically a user has to create an account by email and mobile number and so on and so forth. Here, the system must allow us to do that. See, look at this. The system must allow the customer to create an account. So basically, what am I doing? I'm mapping the business requirements to the functional requirements, guys. So that mapping is very, very important here. In your real-time organizations also, the teams map the functional requirements and the business requirements. So business requirement must be connected to functional requirements. I'll give you one more example. Customer must click on make payment in order to process the payments. I'm again repeating. One of the business requirement is a customer must click on make payment button. Okay, that's a business requirement. What is a functional requirement? The system must allow that make payment button in order to do the payment. The system must allow us to make that payment. Okay, we will click on it, but if system doesn't allow us to click, what is the point? Right? So we have to map the business requirements to the functional requirements, guys. So here we need to prepare the 5 wireframes again. Again, when you're preparing 5 wireframes, my recommendation is, again, you can start from login, search, add to cart, payment, logout. Just like anyone, even in your online agriculture store, you log in, you search for the pesticide, you add it to the cart, you make the payment, and you log out. So this is where you can prepare 5 wireframes. 5 screens you can prepare, guys. Login screen, search screen, add to cart screen, payment screen, logout screen. Okay, guys? Now here you need to just write 50 words on your tools, MS Visio, Balsamic, and Azure. You can write 50 words. Again, RTM. Okay, let's look here. Okay, guys. So what did I do here in RTM? Sure, if you can view it carefully. See, guys, what did I do here is for RTM? I told you, right? RTM is nothing but requirement traceability matrix, a bigger list of your requirements, the big complete list of your requirements. See, if you look at it, I am mapping my functional requirements to my business requirements. Requirement name, description, category, your design, and your code. Okay, now a very interesting thing that I want to tell you here is, whenever you're preparing an RTM document, requirement traceability document, we say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, remember? But in real time, that yes, no, yes, no, yes, no will not suffice, will not help us. That is not the right way of doing the RTM. Okay. Whenever you're talking about this RTM, first and foremost, you should put what is the name of the document where I can see that requirement. You should write about that requirement here. What is that details of the requirement? Which page numbers this document is there? These requirements are there. You can give the link to that document. Okay. Name of that document and the date. Name of the associate who's handling this requirement and the date. I'll again repeat. Name of the document where this requirement is there. Details about that requirement. Page numbers of this FRD document where all this requirement is been highlighted. Okay, the link to the document, name of the ID of the associate who's handling that requirement, and the date he has handled that requirement. So all this data must be there in your requirement traceability matrix, guys. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no will not go. If it is a no, they will have no information here. Why am I having this information? Because we have already worked on this. That is why we have an associate name ID. But if there is no one worked on it, there is no information given, right? But make sure this RTM is updated regularly with this data. No, yes, no should not be the right approach. Make sure whenever you're doing this evaluation, write it like this. It would be very much beneficial to all of you. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, guys. So now we'll prepare 10 test case documents. Again, this is the same test case document that we have in our workbook, guys. I just put it according to this scenario. I said the scenario is search for product and I have 5 sets given here. Okay, guys, and you have expected behavior. And it's the same thing that you have seen there, guys. Okay, same thing. Krishna, just give me a few minutes. Let me finish the questions and then I'll answer your questions. Okay, guys. Okay, now we have this one. Another very important question. Basically, this is draw a database schema and entity relationship diagram. Now, what is a database schema? Please remember, note, guys. Database schema is a combination of your tables and your records. Basically, your database schema has all your tables and entities in simple. Whatever you see here, the combination of your table, records, or entities is nothing but your database schema, DB schema. Okay. Now, the relationship between this tables and records is an entity relationship diagram. Okay. If you're able to create this entity relationship diagram, are we not showing them the DB schema anyways? Right? Because DB schema is nothing but the combination of your tables and records. That is what we have. I have different tables here, guys, listed down. Right? So please understand in your real time also, if you're able to give this entity relationship diagram, which means you're able to understand the DB schema also. Okay, so please give what is DB schema. Just tell them what is DB schema, draw one table record, and then explain the relationship that is called as your DB schema and entity relationship diagram. Okay. Now we need to create a data flow diagram, guys. Again, here I have given a data flow diagram of a user. What is happening here? You are trying to talk about when we place an order by the customer, how is the data flowing? First, the user will search for an item. If you look at this, and let's see if I can expand this. Okay, guys. Okay, see this, guys. Here the user is searching for an item. Okay, user is registering for the item. User is logging in. User is opening his account. User is purchasing the item, right? And user is making the order and making the payment. So basically, a data flow diagram talks about how the data is flowing. If you look at it, user is searching for the item. If you search for the item is there, then you will get some reply back. Look at the arrows, right? Again, once you search, you will register. Because now I want to, without registration, I can't purchase, right? I will search, then I will register. Again, when I'm registering, my data will go to the database. Again, it will come back. Then I will log in. Again, same story. The user will log in. Again, the data will go there. Again, it will come back. Again, the user will open his account. Same story. So like that, you're talking about the flow of the data from the minute the customer has logged in to the placing an order. So that is how you create a data flow diagram. How the data is flowing, inflow and the outflow of the data is what we will explain here. Okay, guys. Now we'll talk about how the BA should handle the change request. Now again, first we'll understand the scope of the change. Now let's take in one simple example. Let's assume I want to take one. Okay, I want to add a new software. Okay, I want to add a new software into my application. Okay, I don't have that. I want to add a new software. First, let's understand what is the change. Okay, it's a technological change. So basically, it is a part of the feasibility study. Right? I have already two softwares. Now I want to add a third software. Now, first we should understand, is it a part of the project or no? It is not a part of the project because initially we only decided to have two softwares, but now you're saying about the third software. So it is not a part of the scope. It is outside the scope. Okay. Now we'll do the analysis. What analysis? Remember, BA does three analysis: feasibility study again, impact analysis, effort estimation. We'll do the analysis. This data we will send it to the CCB. Then they will approve or reject the change request. Then it would be communicated back. So here, in order to answer this question, what can I do here? I will say first understand the scope. I will write what is a change. You can just customize the information here and write. Okay, you can take an example of technology. I want to add a new technology to my project. How can I do that? You can understand this and write the information here. Okay, guys? Now, basically here, I have a scenario. Currently, the team is working on selling clothes. Designers can add their new designs in the applications. However, currently the client has asked to add features like auction, holiday, giveaway. Now, is this a change request or an enhancement? Okay, so basically now the client wants to add two features like auction and holiday giveaways. Okay, now if you look at it, these two are called as enhancement because we're adding two new features to the system. It is not change request because we're adding two new features. It is called as an enhancement project because we are adding two new features to our application. As a business analyst, what should we do? I will document the requirements and I will again do feasibility study and impact analysis on these two requirements. And then I will look at the benefits, risk and the cost associated. And then I will take the recommendation. So this is how you need to explain the answer. Guys, if you notice, what did I do? I have taken an example and I have explained it to the concerned stakeholders. So please do the same thing in your evaluation also. Okay. Now, how many man hours are required if you look at it? So basically, we have three types of man hours that we calculate: small project, medium project, large project. Because here in this case study, the duration is 8 months and the team size is around 50. I said it will come under a medium project. And I also feel that because we have trained resources, trainers are not required, which is why we do not need a lot of many more man hours. And as the structure of the project is available, and the infrastructure is all there, that we do not need a new enhanced infrastructure. So having said that, I see that with whatever team we have, we would be able to complete the project and we can also calculate. So we have one person for 40 hours, right? We have 15 resources, 15 into 40, and we can calculate how many man hours we would require, guys. Okay. So let's assume I have 15 resources, then they'll work for 40 hours in a week. So 15 resources into 40 per week, but 18 months. So that is how we will calculate the man hours, guys. Okay. So again, in your evaluation, do the same calculation and tell the mentor, I feel that this is why it is. And I also feel that these many hours are required because these are the resources we have. These are the things we have. These are the infrastructure we have, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now we will explain the UAT process. So basically, the 43rd question is, I have to explain the complete UAT process. So basically in the UAT process, first we do the planning. Then we will design the whole test cases. So basically in the planning, the blueprints are prepared to do the UAT testing, where these blueprints are used to look at the standard of accepting the test. Then here we will design the test cases. Which test cases will we use here? Okay, then we will make sure the testing team will run on these test cases. Like for example, I want to have a search test case scenario on search. I will take the test case and I will assign a UAT team. Okay, on this team, what is expected, what is the end result, and then I will see what is the gap, what is the bug that is there, and then I'll give the development team to work on it, and then we will sign off, guys. So basically in the UAT process, first we'll do the planning. Then I'll design the whole UAT test cases. Then we'll assign a team. We will run the test cases. Then we will fix the bugs and we will sign off on the UAT, and then it is ready. It is ready to go live. Okay, guys. Then the last question that for the day is your project closure document again. So, guys, this is another very important question I've been facing the difficulty with. So, guys, in the project closure document again, we have first, did the client sign off on the UAT testing? If yes, on which date and who is the resource who signed off on the UAT testing? Okay. What are the objectives of the project? Did we achieve that objective? User friendliness? Yes, the application is user friendly. Is the customer satisfied? I don't know that because return on investment is 6 months. Did we add more categories? Yes. Okay. Now, what functionalities did I work on? Secure payment processing is completed. Categories is achieved. Are the softwares installed? Yes. Laptops purchased? Yes. What is the funding of 1 crore? And I have estimated 80 lakhs earlier, right? But I have spent 95 lakhs today. Okay. Do we have any escalations? Yes, we do have 50 escalations. And what is the customer satisfaction? It is high. And what is the value to the company? It is positive, which is 90%. Company has gained an edge over the competitors, increased clients. We have trained employees now. We can use them for the next projects. And we have a new project in the pipeline. Now, here, if you notice, guys, I said I have worked on the functionalities. What is a proof? Now, for this, we need to attach the link here. Like, for example, I said the UAT testing has been achieved. Now, first, I want to understand what did we agree for. I have a business scope document link. I said I have funding of 1 crore. I have a finance breakdown document mentioned here. I said I worked on the objectives. How do I know what objectives we have? I will go to the business requirement document link. So like that, we have the reference links that we need to mention here as well, guys. Okay, guys. So these are all the 44 questions that we have discussed. So now, just give me a minute. I will stop the recording and then we will answer the questions. Okay.